So I watched Smackdown live last night, and I am shocked to say that I actually enjoyed this Smackdown. I thought it was probably the best Smackdown I've seen in years. But I would only say it's because of one benefactor, and we're going to talk about that. Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Williams channel. And welcome to a Smackdown review. I was about to say Smackdown Live. I almost forgot it's just Friday Night Smackdown now. A Friday Night Smackdown review? Yes, if you guys are disenfranchised or don't really watch Tyler Williams channel, you're new here. I do not watch Raw and Smackdown. I gave up on those programs years and years ago. I watch them every once in a blue moon when I hear it's good, or when it's the Raw after Smackdown after WrestleMania, stuff like that. I would say rarely, like never, watch SmackDown just because SmackDown's on. But I was at work today, and I heard about the whole, Russ is being trapped in Saudi Arabia, and that's WWE's fault. Why would you book a Crown Jewel show one day and then SmackDown the next? So that's WWE's fault for putting themselves in that scenario. But I digress. I was at work while this show was happening, whatever. I didn't hear too much about it. Then I'm getting messages from my friend like, oh my god, Matt Riddle was on SmackDown, and Keith Lee, and this, and that guy, and that. And I'm like, huh. Let me check Twitter real quick, see what's going on. So I'm checking Twitter. I'm seeing all these guys, and I'm like, you know what? When I get home, I'm going to watch SmackDown tonight. So I get home. I watched SmackDown. I took some notes down, and I'm like, well, goddamn, I guess I'm doing a fucking review today, huh? And here I was, waking up thinking I was going to do a goddamn New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle preview, but I'm going to do a SmackDown review anyway. What kind of world are we living in? I don't really know. Like I said, I thought it was a really, really good show. What I call it great, I don't know if I would go that far, but it was really good. And I honestly can't say that about a lot of main roster products that often. So to start off the show, we have a Paul Heyman promo. And here's the thing about Paul Heyman promos. I think Paul Heyman is very charismatic. He's very visceral. He's very in your face about it. And I think at times he can be a very great promo. But I've gotten to a point where Paul Heyman promos just seem to run together a lot. Like this promo, I feel like it was taking so long for him to get to the point where I skipped like most of it. Like I legit picked up my remote through like 2.5 minutes, and I literally fast forwarded through this promo because I just did not want to hear him talk anymore. Like, I'm starting to feel like Paul Heyman promos are just the same thing over and over again. He just changes up the words. And I don't know about you guys. I'm over Paul Heyman promos at this point. So at the end of the promo, Paul Heyman basically says that Brock Lesnar quits SmackDown. Now yesterday, I said that with The Fiend and Brock Lesnar being main champions, both of them be on SmackDown, they're going to have to find their way out of this scenario in order to do a Raw vs. SmackDown vs. NXT at Survivor Series. And I was talking about how they could put The Fiend on Raw or have a trade and have Brock Lesnar go to Raw instead. And it looks like they've gone the route of having Brock Lesnar go to Raw instead, which is interesting to me because I would think that Fox will want Brock Lesnar, being that, Brock Lesnar's a UFC star and, a lot of notoriety goes with him. So I'm shocked they said him to Raw instead of Bray Wyatt. But interesting moving nonetheless. Do I care? Don't give a fuck because I don't watch Raw. Then we start off with our first match, Bayley versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nothing special. Here's the thing about me. I watch so much New Japan Pro Wrestling and indie wrestling and British wrestling and this wrestling and that wrestling, that a lot of the wrestling on the main roster just kind of bleh to me. So I can sit there and watch an episode of Raw if I want to, if I force myself to watch an episode of Raw, and I'll sit there and I think all the matches are just like nothing, and people will be like, oh, this is a great match, this was amazing, this was perfect, terrific, and I'll be like, you know what I mean? Like, it was okay. Like, this might have been a good match to other people's standards, but to me it was like nothing special. I will say this, I did love Kota Ibushi Sasha Banks attire tonight. You guys know how big a fan I am of Kota Ibushi. So Sasha Banks, I was really feeling her. I was really vibing with Sasha tonight. So they didn't really do too much in this match, like I said. And yeah, Nikki Cross went for a top rope splash on the Bayley. Sasha Banks sent her off the top rope. Bayley capitalized on it, hit this forward Russian leg sweep type finisher. I guess that's a new finisher. She doesn't do the Bayley to belly anymore. I guess it's a forward Russian leg sweep. She hits that onto Nikki Cross, gets the pin to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I didn't see any other result because Nikki Cross as SmackDown Women's Champion going to Survivor Series didn't seem very likely to me. But what came after the match really set the tone for the rest of the show. After the match, we see Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, come from the crowd, send Sasha Banks straight into the ring post, get straight into the ring, and start beating down Bayley. I mean, Bayley didn't get any offense in. She got her ass kicked by Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler ended up standing tall over Bayley, posing with her NXT Women's Championship, and it was a glorious sight to see. Seeing her on SmackDown just lay out, the two of the four horsewomen was just a really cool sight to see. So, I was down for that shit. I should also note on commentary, they changed commentary. It just felt like a different show. Commentary was different. We didn't have Michael Cole and Corey Graves. We had Renee Young, Vic Joseph, or Tom Phillips, or whatever the hell, it was one of those two guys, and Aiden English. Then it was swapped out with Pat McAfee. Now, I don't really know too much about that guy. I know he's on that WWE Watch Along show every once in a blue moon, so I'm like, okay, let's see how he does. Overall, his commentary was pretty subpar. I mean, like, I could tell he has never really done commentary before, and I just tolerated it, but, it is what happens when you have your roster in a whole different country. We didn't get an interview with Kathy Kelly. Now, Kathy Kelly is an interviewer for NXT, not SmackDown. So once again, the NXT invasion continues. So she is conducting a promo with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's going on and on about NXT is sticking their nose where they shouldn't be, and if anyone has a challenge and wants to step up to him, they could do it right now. He turns right into Keith Lee and Matt Riddle, and I mark out because y'all know I am a bro, and I'm a big fan of Keith Lee. So I said, you know what? Let's go. Sami Zayn starts kissing her ass, talking about how much he loves NXT, and he used to be the heart and soul of NXT, which is true. I used to be a humongous fan of NXT back in the heydays of 2015 and 2014, so I remember. So he's like, you know what? I left my shirt in my car. I'm going to go get it so we can vibe together with our NXT shirts. Matt Riddle and Keith Lee's like, oh, well, I'll come with you. Let's go to your car. And then Sami's like, oh, you don't have to come with me. They're like, nah, we'll follow behind you. We'll meet you at your car. Sami Zayn is a little uneasy about this. He bolts, and I'm thinking he's going to run out the arena. But he bolts for the ring, which is dumb, but it's a TV show, so that makes sense, I guess. He goes to the ring and gets absolutely laid out by Keith Lee and Matt Riddle as they stand tall. Then we get a Miz TV segment. Now, I was under the impression we were going to get Miz and the Velveteen Dream, and that would have been an amazing segment to have. Now, I don't know if the Velveteen Dream is injured or if Triple H wanted to hold off on him, but this would have been a perfect time to segue Velveteen Dream into this segment. You have a very charismatic, one of the best mic speakers in The Miz, and then you have one of the best mic speakers in NXT, and a very flamboyant and extravagant Velveteen Dream on the mic with each other. I'm like, yes, let's get it. So The Miz says that Bray Wyatt was supposed to be his guest, but he couldn't be there today. So instead, he's looking for some NXT talent because it seems like everyone's invading the show. Might as well see what they can do. And out comes Tommaso Ciampa. Now, I was happy to see Ciampa, but of all the guys that could have interrupted The Miz, I thought it was a very odd choice. Like I said, Velveteen Dream, maybe Johnny Gargano. You could have had, I don't know, Angel Garza. I was like, Ciampa? Odd choice, but okay, I'll take it. I'll take it because I like Ciampa. So Tommaso Ciampa comes out, and much to my disappointment, calls himself the greatest sports entertainer of all time. At this point, I threw my moat in there and I said, oh, fuck. How dare this man insult himself like that? The greatest sports entertainer of all time. I couldn't believe I heard such bullshit in my life. You could tell this was a main. I've watched NXT for the last 6 years of my life, and this was the most main roster NXT promo I've ever heard in my life. I sat there and I felt like, If you watch both shows, you can tell an NXT promo from a Raw promo, from a Smackdown promo. This was Tommaso Ciampa cutting a Smackdown promo. While the content of his promo was bad, I did like the way he was delivering it. That was really good. He tried his best with what he had to work with, so I'll give him props. So The Miz went on to say, people always want to hear The Miz and Ciampa battle out on the mic. And I said, well, damn, Miz, I've never heard a single person in my entire life say that they want to hear you and Ciampa battle out on the mic. But if you say it, I guess I'm inclined to believe it, so please tell me more. The Miz then tells Tommaso Ciampa to make a statement, and that sets a match between the two, The Miz versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, Ciampa didn't have his gear ready to go, so he had to wrestle in his pants and boots, which look kind of weird because you can see his underwear sticking out at times. I'm just like, ugh. Now, was it the best Miz match I saw? No. Was it the best Ciampa match I saw? Far from it. But I think the two were... I think at times they were a little wonky. Like, there were some bosses in this match that were just like... And I guess it was just that, you know, they didn't have really time to really map it out what they were going to do because it was on such late notice. So I don't know if they're calling it on the fly or what. It was a little wonky at times, a little thrown together at some points. But overall, it was a decent, good match for main roster standards. Tommaso Ciampa in the end put down The Miz with the fairy tale ending for the pin. Was a bit mad he didn't use his powerbomb lung blower on The Miz, but I digress. He still won. Couldn't be too mad at the result. We then got a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. Now, if you guys do not know, one of my favorite feuds of the 2010s was Daniel Bryan versus The Authority. As mind-boggling as that sounds, I was a big fan. That was probably the last period of time I was watching Raw. And the whole Daniel Bryan versus Triple H match at WrestleMania 30 is still one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. So when I saw these two go face to face, I was actually pretty excited to see it. Not even gonna lie. And Triple H starts to make excuses for why he can't wrestle. Like, oh, I didn't bring my gear, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I'm like, oh, Triple H, you're such a fucking troll. Just because Shawn Michaels is there, he's being a fucking troll. And he says, well, I know someone else who wants to fight. And this was the funniest shit. I swear to God, man, I was dying for a good minute after this. So he says, there's someone else I think want to face you. And Shawn Michaels starts taking off his jacket. And I said, bro, if Shawn Michaels is serious about this shit, I swear to fucking God, if we see Shawn Michaels versus Dan Bryan tonight, I'm going to be pissed and I'm going to be fucking happy at the same time. But I said, no, we're not going to get this match. They're teasing us. So he takes off his jacket. The crowd started to get hype. And he's like, it's a little cold in here. And I said, yo, I fucking hate DX, man. I hate them. This is why they're my favorite tag team. These guys are bona fide trolls when they want to be. At least back in the day they were. And sometimes it's hokey. Sometimes it's stupid. But sometimes it's funny. This was kind of funny in my opinion. And I have a bias because I'm a big fan of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. But I like this segment. And I definitely like this segment because of who faced Daniel Bryan. So Triple H then summons Champ. And out comes Adam Cole, baby. And to the biggest pop of the night, Daniel Bryan says he wants to shot Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. And I said, what show am I watching right now? After this, we were set up to get Fire and Desire, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose versus Dana Brooke and Carmella. Now, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were already out there, but Carmella and Dana Brooke were making their way out. But they were both attacked by Bianca Belair, who was wailing on both those women. She took down both of those women by herself. I know they're undercard women. I know that women don't get utilized that often, at least Dana Brooke. But the fact that she beat those women down by herself just really showcased Bianca Belair. And I really hope they showcase her at Survivor Series because of this whole segment here. I mean, she military pressed Carmella and yeeted her out of the picture, which is fucking hilarious to me as well. So I'm thinking Bianca Belair's going to come out with probably Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes out, but she comes out with Tegan Nox. Now, at this point in the show, I was confused. Because I'm under the impression that Tegan Nox and Rhea Ripley don't like each other. You guys remember, Mayhem Classic last year, Tegan Nox kind of injured her ankle. Now, kind of broke her other leg. Now, this is during the match with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley made fun of her. She was doing everything in her power to make her the heel in this match. After the match, she changed her profile picture on Twitter to Rhea Ripley being injured. And that was her profile picture for a solid, at least 6 months or so. So I'm like, these two have to hate each other. But they're just, buddy here on SmackDown, which I'm like, I didn't really like that. That didn't make too much sense to me, but I understand the scenario. I'm going to take it and run with it. It was basically a squash match. Tegan Nox didn't really do too much, except for throw Sonya Deville into Renee Young, which is pretty funny. But other than that, Rhea Ripley basically dominated both women. She made Mandy Rose tap out with her awesome finishing move. Made her tap out, and they won the match. Then we get into the main event, and I said, holy shit, this show went by pretty damn fast. This show went by faster than the NXT show. I don't know what it was about the last few weeks of NXT that feel like I was dragging my feet watching it at times, but this show was so easy to digest. And once again, I feel like it was because it was SmackDown, and SmackDown is usually bad, that this show felt fast and so damn good. But I'm like, holy shit, this show is about to end, and I'm a little upset about that. Triple H and Shawn Michaels come out, and they're about to watch the show. Then Stephanie comes out, and I said this show was great up until this damn point. Why the fuck is Stephanie out here? And I felt so bad because she's all happy and giddy and doing her whole mother hen thing, talking about, oh, women this, women that, women's evolution this, women taking over the world that. You know, Natalya and Lacey Evans were the first women to wrestle Saudi Arabia. I'm like, Stephanie, I don't give a fuck. Please move on. I understand that Natalya and Lacey Evans made history, but how you gonna cut off the main event for this shit? So I skipped through her part, and I went straight to the main event. Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole, baby. I thought this was a great match for main roster standards. Daniel Bryan worked offense for a lot of this match towards the end, which was weird considering that Daniel Bryan was kind of the de facto babyface, and in terms, Adam Cole was the heel. But because the crowd cheered them both, it was hard to tell at times. And at times when Daniel Bryan was dominating Adam Cole, it almost felt like Adam Cole was the babyface, even though he was the defending champion from a different brand. It was very hard to kind of tell the dynamic at ports of this match, but overall I bought into it. Even towards the end when Daniel Bryan had the S-Lock locked in on Adam Cole, and each time he would try different body parts to manipulate the legs, the arms, and he would try and stop Adam Cole at every time, which I bought into. I didn't buy into him ever beating Adam Cole, but if there were any point in time where I'm like, God damn, this is great, and this is really building tension to the end, this was it. I love this spot. It really was making the match, you know, flow. Now, I didn't really like how it segued into the end of the match. I mean, after all this ass-kicking Adam Cole took, he was perfectly fine to do the super kick. I'm like, alright, no build up to that. And I'm fine with him to do a super kick, but he went straight for Panama Sunrise. And I'm like, weren't you just selling, like, just a minute ago? Now you're okay. But whatever. Hits the Panama Sunrise, hits his last shot to the back of Daniel Bryan's head, gets a 3 count, and retains the NXT Championship. And in a night where literally every NXT talent went over SmackDown in an unbelievable fashion, Triple H comes to the ring with most of the NXT roster, some of the NXT roster, whatever the hell, and basically stands his ground and says, if Raw and SmackDown won a war, we're going to bring it to them. This was the NXT invasion. We are NXT. That's how the show ended. I fucking loved it. This is how you do an NXT invasion. You don't do pointless segments. You don't do, hey guys, I'm Adam Cole, and in 3 weeks from now we're gonna be facing. No, siege. You wait until SmackDown is gone and out of siege. Then you take your attack. Triple H was smart about this shit. He knew, in kayfabe, Triple H knew that The Fiend, that Roman Reigns, that all the SmackDown usefuls were gone. So he took the opportunity to take NXT talent and raid SmackDown. Because what the hell were they gonna do? Right? That's how you do an invasion. I'm like, yes. Now this opens the door for SmackDown and Raw to invade NXT, which I'm fine with as long as Triple H is booking this shit. But you could tell Triple H had his hands all over this show. This was NXT paints the town yellow. This was NXT takes over SmackDown. This was an NXT dominated SmackDown show, and I loved it. However, that is the only reason why I like SmackDown. At its core, if SmackDown did not feature NXT tonight, I guarantee you 100% I would have not watched this show. I would not have cared about this show. And once again, the show probably would have been shitty like it usually always is. This is a masquerade. This is a mask that is used to present the fact that without NXT and without Triple H, these shows would not be that interesting. And this went to show. I wouldn't be surprised if NXT ratings go up a little bit because of this, and also because the World Series is over, because everyone likes to have an excuse for why ratings are down. I wouldn't be surprised if the ratings go up a lot because of this episode. We'll see in due time, and if it does, that's a good sign. But nonetheless, that was my SmackDown review. I enjoyed the show. What did you guys think about SmackDown tonight? NXT tonight? Fighting out NXT? Comment down below. Let me know. Love you guys always, and I will see you all later. Peace out, guys. Yo, look at this bullshit, man. What the fuck? This had me dying. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm sitting here thinking we about to see a damn Bryan Triple H match, my favorite match, and then you got Shawn Michaels. I was like, he ready to score up. I'm sitting here like, ain't no way about that. This man wrestling tonight. I fucking hate that they play too fucking much.